right, Shalom. This is Howard One Bun Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kwadash, Mamath. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim, the children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so turn this down. Today's topic is going to be based upon what everybody's seeing right now. You know, is what's that? Is what you call the downfall of a kingdom, all right, of an empire, right? Matter of fact, I'm just get some precept. Just real quick, because people are witnessing. Right. They're witnessing the downturn, starting with the economic downturn of America, also known as Babylon in the scriptures, which is prophesied all throughout the Bible of this place rising and then falling. But people think that this kingdom is going to last forever. All right. But no kingdom on earth, especially taxing its people, right, or dealing with its own currency, um, has lasted forever. They always fall at some point. But this is I'm gonna start off with Isaiah 40 and 5. All right, let's go to Isaiah 40 and 5. I'm gonna read it. It says, "And the glory of Yahweh shall be revealed." All right, and that's about to happen when Yahweh Shai, when Yahweh sends Yahweh Shai. Um, but before that, what's going to lead up to that is the fall of this place, Babylon. All right, in World War III. It says what? And all flesh shall see together, for the mouth of Yahweh have spoken it, right? Let me get this real quick. Let's start off with this one too. This is Second Ezra 15 and 1. And it says here, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people," because this word is to the Israelites, "the words of prophecy," basically warning, "which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh." All right, that's why we speak His words, His prophecies, and that word is only to our people. "And cause them to be written in paper." That's why we have the scriptures today. All right, in paper. "For they are faithful and true." All right, so they are faithful and true. So now, matter of fact, I gotta get this one, man. The classic. Let me get this one real quick. Uh, yeah, verse 3. "For the vision is yet for an appointed time," and we're in that appointed time now. "But at the end it shall speak and not lie." So we at the end where all the prophecies are speaking, and it's showing that the scriptures are true. And these people still sleep. A lot of them still don't want to believe it. They still in denial. They're getting deeper into their wickedness. The wicked shall wax worse and worse. I walked up to this guy the other day. I remember I taught him before. He was all interested. He's like, "That's deep, man." And so when I ran into him the second time, he was in a car accident, all banged up looking. And he was like, "I say," I was like, "What the hell is that?" I was like, "Shalom, man." He was like, "I say." What the fuck is that? That's some Egyptian shit. So these people are As all hell break loose, they're gonna cling to their idols, man. You know. But the Lord says someday it's gonna be so bad out here, especially when all hell break loose and the missiles and destruction start hitting. They're gonna cast their idols to the moles and to the bats. Why? Because that's where they're gonna be hiding at in them caves, and they're gonna see Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai judging the earth, and they're gonna be in fear, and they're gonna say, "Oh shit, what the hell I've been worshiping this whole time? What have I been turning to? What I've been clinging on to?" All right, and they're gonna turn from man who they've been trusting as well. But Habakkuk 2 and 5, 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, man. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right. So you see the picture I have in the background um is basically, that old parable or metaphor of a man cutting himself off at the foot, or you standing on the tree branch and you cutting the branch off, standing on the wrong side, you're gonna fall off. You know what I mean? Cutting yourself off. And that's what Trump is doing. Cutting. Oh, damn, that's deep. Let's get that. Cutting America in half, dividing America. I did a lesson the other day called "Divided States of America." All right, let me get that real quick. This is Mark 3:26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. Right? Why? Because 25 it says, if a house be divided, and this is that house, America is that house, and it's divided now. Democrats, Republicans. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand, man. It's gonna fall at some point. All right. So let's get into this article I want to read real quick from CNN. It says recession in America. Oh shit, right? So we have to understand what a recession is. Now, before I go there, I'm gonna read this. It says Trump's tariffs, and this one 5 minutes ago, April 4th. Because yesterday I think the Dow. Let's go there real quick. Let's look at the Dow Jones. See the Dow Jones. Let's go here. The Dow Jones was down 3%, which is bad, man. 1,000, so 1,600 points. Then you have the S&P 500 down 4 points. Damn. Nasdaq, everything's in red as a response to Trump's tariffs. I would say he enlarged their desires as hell, man. All right, the Dow has nosedived 1,600 points. S&P 500 and Nasdaq, they dropped most since 2020. Damn, after Trump's tariffs. All right, so this is in response to Trump's tariffs, man. Look at that nosedive. And what it's destroying is the futures market. All right, and it's going to cause what's called a recession. So let me go back to this article real quick. It says Trump's tariffs could push America and the world into a recession. All right. And what's a recession? So the whole world, and that's why the scriptures say that this temptation shall come upon the whole world when they start pushing that MOTB, because as you're gonna hear in this article, if America gets sick or coughs, the whole world is sick. That's a better way to say it. If America throws up or coughs or some shit, the whole world feels it because they're tied to America because of the dollar, because of their trade. All right. So not only They're gonna have to leave. They're gonna have to flee away from America, cut all their ties. All right, so it's pushing America into a recession. So let's get the definition of recession. So it says here, a recession, during a recession, all right, because you have depression and you have recession. Depression falls upon the people as a response from a recession, the recession falls upon the corporations. All right, so he's basically putting pressure and oppressing all the corporations. Pressure above, pressure below. So the oppression that he's going to put on these corporations and these nations around the world, like Europe and Canada, is ultimately going to put pressure on the consumer, which is the people, the citizens. And that's when you get a Great Depression. All right. So because of those high tariffs, you would think, oh, Canada got to foot the bill. No, it's the American consumer that buys products from Canada, buys products from China, imports cars from China around the world, and chocolate and all these different things. Um, Somebody has to foot that bill, and it's usually the consumer, the citizens. They're the ones that pay the price at the register or on the off the shelf. So what's going to happen is for Canada and these nations to and these corporations to accommodate themselves, they're going to have to spike up their prices, you know, and it's going to cause an economic war, which is usually the first stage of war. Economic, there's a lot of options they can go to before they decide direct war. So during a recession, economic activity slows down. So remember when Biden was in office and they kept raising the interest rate and lowering it? The reason they were raising and lower it is because um, this is their response. The Fed chairman Powell and the Feds, if they lower the rates of interest rates, then that means that America's economy is doing great, and that means that America can start paying on its debt. Thus, you have to lower your interest rate and say, all right, now pay me my money. All right, you can't pay me. You can't pay me the debt. All right, so that means that your economy is doing bad. So let's raise the interest rate to keep y'all from spending so much, to slow down spending, because every dollar spent creates more debt. So to keep the debt down, they'll raise the interest rate, which will raise the price at the shelf, price at the prices of rent, cars, different things, which will slow people down from spending. All right, so it's called slowing down the economy before it crashes, and that shows you that this economy is in bad shape, whichever way it goes. It's out of shape. All right, so that's why there's so this is another way of slowing the economy, slowing down spending. All right, so they can keep the interest rates where they at. So now, during a recession, economic activity slows down, leading to decreased output, meaning money spent or employment, lower consumer demand, right? Because nobody's spending anymore. Because um, the what's propping up the economy at this moment is the futures market, meaning the investors, the people the bankers that invest into America in the future of America. They got the futures market and they got the present market. I can say, hey, I'm gonna invest this money in you now, and I won't get any extra, interest because it's like a now type of payment. So I'm gonna keep we're gonna have to keep the interest rate on that high, that money back. Or I can invest in your future, saying, yo, I think 10 years down the line, you're gonna be great, man. So I'm gonna invest in you, and we're gonna keep the interest rate low because it'll be built up too high by the time we get to that 10 years. So I'm gonna invest this money in you, and that's what's literally keeping the market up right now, the futures market. And now that futures market is on a downturn. That's why you're seeing a response to the market. All right, that's why you're seeing that response of everything in red, like the Dow Jones. You know, you're seeing all this because the futures market, the investors are pulling out of fear. They got all this money invested, and they want that money back at the end of 10 years or 8 years, 3 years, right? You would want your money back plus interest, but instead they're not promised anything because of what Trump's doing. Trump is cutting America off at the foot for its future. All right, so that's why everything's on a nosedive right now. It said Dow Jones futures. Oh shit, I didn't know that. There you go. There you go. Dow Jones futures. Dow Jones futures dive as China retaliates versus Trump. See, these nations are retaliating, and that's scaring the investors. All right. So that's why you're seeing the market respond the way it is, because of the futures market. Don't let them fool you. All right. And also, besides this, you have consumer spending. Where there's no employment, there can be no money spent. Where so if you put pressure on the corporations and they can't hire people and they got to fire people, the people, the citizens can no longer spend that money. They don't have no money to spend. They got to tighten up their pockets and start the penny pinch. And what does that do? Crash the economy. All right, because the American people are 70%. The economy is 70% held up by the consumer. So when the consumer, which is spending, buying shit, they don't really put out anything to sell around the world. It's more so just buying, right? So creating more and more debt because the dollar is a debt note. So the consumer, the more they consume, uh, it's like it. Basically, I'm gonna say that again. The consumer is basically 70% of the economy. So you stop the consumer from being able to spend because of the high prices or the lack of backing from their jobs and employment or the oppression from not being able to pay due to a recession because the price is going up everywhere. So that's basically what oppressing the consumer as well. So if you stop the consumer from doing what they do, from keeping the economy up 70%, and then you stop the long-term investors from trusting in the futures of this place, you're gonna have a recession immediately. All right. So yes, I believe this place is entering into finally a recession. All right. During a recession, economic activity slows down, leading to decreased output, lower consumer demand. See, lower consumer demand and higher unemployment as businesses cut back on spending and hiring. All right. What scripture that sound like to you? So all the businesses in a recession, they're going to start firing people. The unemployment rate's going to skyrocket. You know. So this is what we're coming into right now at this moment. Let's get this. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. All right. The keepers of the house. Who's the keepers of the house, man? Those corporations, right? The government, the futures investors, they're all trembling. All right. The military, whatever you can think of that's keeping this place in existence, is basically in shambles right now. All right, especially those the consumers and the investors, the keepers of the house, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and it goes into the what you call it, the authorities here. Um, police, uh, military. I don't know. I can't think of my mind on something else right now. But the strong men, all right, the rich men too, and the grinders cease because they are few. All right. So the grinders, meaning the workers, is going to be no employment. The workers are going to cease because they are few. Meaning there's not going to be any employees, no employment. Look at this real quick. Look up the grinders. All right. So the grinders, to grind, meaning what? In the sense of a concubine, and that's what happens when you go to a job. They marry you. They go under contract with you. Employment agreement. So in a sense, to be like a concubine, a worker. That being what? Their employment, their grinder. So the grinders, the employees are going to cease because they're not going to be in employment. All right. It says to basically to grind up the face, right? But look, check this out. It says to grind the face, but not a person's face. It's talking about the poor to oppress him. So it's going to be a work. It's talking about in the sense of work, working. So that's going to cease. There's not going to be an employment. I just want to see one more word real quick. Tremble. That's what I want to see. They said tremble, quiver, quake, be in terror. So they're going to be in terror, man. Sheesh. To move oneself, to be shaken. So a lot of these corporations are trembling, and these investors. All right. So the keepers of the house are trembling, and the employees are going to feel the brunt. The result of that, the pressure from above. The grinders shall cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, man. So that means that this right here represents fear. All right, looking out the windows and or faces turning pale, that means fear. All right, so everybody gonna be scared of what they see happening out here in the streets in their community. And the doors shall be shut in the streets. That's the businesses, man. This is an economic crash right here. The doors, no more. The business is gonna be shut. The government gonna be shut down at some point. You know, according to the trend that we see and also the prophecies. So the doors shall be shut in the streets. There's not gonna be any help, not gonna be any employment. You ain't gonna be able to go to the grocery store when the sound of the grinding is low. All right. So when just like when they did the lockdowns, when you went outside, they said don't go outside, but we went outside anyway. And you walk around in the morning, like probably in a few minutes, if I take my headphones off, you're gonna hear lawnmowers outside. You're gonna hear the dump truck slamming the damn trash in the dumpster far away. You're gonna hear motorcycles on the highway at the distance, maybe cops riding around, ambulance and shit like that. But that show you people working. This place, America, is being manicured, right? Maintenance. But when the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, when the employment is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. See, we would go outside and you hear nothing but birds in the morning. Rah, rah, fucking crows and shit. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low, man. So all the people, all the entertainers, the rich, they're gonna be brought low. They're gonna feel this too. They're gonna be like, oh, I'm rich, I'm good. Like um these celebrities. Well shit, they're gonna feel the look at them during the lockdown. They was all on the cameras in the house too. They couldn't travel to their concerts. Their businesses were shut down, closed. All right. So and nobody's gonna buy their uh, entertainment. All right. Because the reason a lot of these entertainers are rich is because the people, the consumer, once again. All right. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen, man. Let me read this real quick. Why not? And also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, man, they're gonna be afraid of the judgment coming. They're gonna start to see it, and and the fears shall be in the way. What's something in your way? Meaning you going this way, but you see something dangerous in your path. That's the future. So the futures market, they're seeing danger, and and the military people, they're seeing World War III and all this shit happening. So fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish. What's that prophecy? Prophecy is going to flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden. This is symbolic of the smallest thing is going to destroy this place, and that goes into famine. All right. So the smallest um, uh, problem can bring this place down. It's going to eat up the economy because it's in bad condition. All right. Basically, saying that this place is on its last leg, and even a feather can push it over. And desire shall fail. So all people's dreams, aspirations, American dream, make America great again, the golden age of America, all that's going to fail because you're going to be worried about the now safety. You know, they say when you're healthy, all the you got all the problems in the world, but when you get sick, the only problem is that you're sick. So people have so many things going on in the world today. Busy, busy, busy. Not acknowledging the Most High's judgment is coming. They can't see it far off. But when all hell break loose, all they're gonna be worrying about is saving their ass. All right. And desire shall fail, the American dream, because man goeth to his long home. There's gonna be a lot of people dead, man. All right. Basically destroying everyone's comfort zone. And that's when you're gonna see people panicking. And the mourners shall go about the streets, man. All right. So there's gonna be a lot of death. So let's keep going. Let's go back to so we know what a recession is. It's gonna slow down spending and the grinding shall be what? Low. All right. Low spending, low hiring. Get low, low, low. That's what they're gonna do. So let's go here real quick. Finish this article. It says Trump tariffs could push America and the world into a recession. So if America sneezes, the whole world gets sick. All right. The New York Stock Exchange pictured before U.S. President Trump unveiled a massive round of global tariffs on April 2nd, 2025. The saying goes that when America, there you go, that's where I got it from. The saying goes that when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. That's crazy. This is a pithy shorthand to this basic sarcasm to describe how changes in the world's biggest economy have a ripple effect. They ripple out to impact everyone else. That would say we would have healed Babylon, uh, but she is not healed. You know, get that, get that real quick. This is let's get Jeremiah. Damn, that's deep. It says here, Jeremiah 51:9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, man. They tried everything they could to heal this place. QE1, QE2, QE2 infinity. Now you're trying tariffs. And it's not gonna heal this place, man. Forsake her. See, everybody gonna cut their ties with this place. And let us go everyone to his own country. See, they're gonna put their own country first. For her judgment reacheth unto the sky, and that's when the destruction gonna hit, and is lifted up even to the sky. That's why I say that smoke is gonna billow up forever and ever. Man, it's gonna go way high up into the sky. All right, the mushroom clouds. So that's what's coming. All right, there you go. Look, Jeremiah 51:7. That's why I say when America sneezes, the whole world gets sick because the Most High made it that way. It says here, Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. All right. So America drinks, the whole world get drunk. America sneezes, the whole world gets sick. The nations have drunken of her wine, their business, the dollar, all that tied into policies with America, investing in the futures market, you know. Therefore, the nations are mad. They were fooled. That's what it means to be mad, to be a fool, not just angry. They were fooled. All right. They trusted in America. You can look it up in the history. Russia trusted in the leadership of America, that they were going to lead the way in the world, lead the world to success. But instead, they become a cancer. All right. So that's what they're saying is now, whoa, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Like, what the hell? Howl for her, take balm for her, I mean, a healing agent, do whatever you can to try to fix it up. If so be, she may be healed. All right. But let me show you this. Uh, where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? There you go. I'm just pull it up real quick. Healed. The other scripture of it. She is not healed. Forsake her. Okay, you already went through it. Forsake her and let us go, everyone to his own country. That's what they're going to do. All right. So now let's go back to this article real quick. So we know what a recession is, and we know what a depression is. Um, but it says here, it's a Python shorthand saying if America sneezes, the rest of the world gets cold. Gets a cold. It's a Python shorthand to describe how changes in the world's biggest economy ripple out to impact everyone else. But that adage doesn't go nearly far enough to convey the enormity of the likely fallout from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump's decision to impose a colossal set of new tariffs or taxes on America's trading partners, cutting off his own partners, man. The U.S. is sneezing and the U.S. is hacking off one of its limbs, man. Paul Donovan, chief economist at UBS Global Wealth Management, told CNN. So they hacking themselves off at their own. They cutting off one of their limbs, man. All right, weakening itself. At the start of the year, the American economy was in a very good place. See, but now it's like take balm for her. She gotta heal that shit. He noted, now if these tariffs continue as they are, it will probably tip into recession, and that he said will likely have a knock on negative impact. I hate the way Esau talk on economies around the world. All right, so it's gonna have a negative impact on all the economies around the world. So it's gonna affect the whole world. All right, and what's gonna cause the whole world to push back? Like, oh, we don't want nothing to do with you. We done with you. You know, I always said the mother, thy mother shall hate thee. It's talking about Europe and England. All right. So on Wednesday, Trump announced a 10% baseline tariff on all goods imports into the United States, and even higher tariffs on products from about 60 economies. The harder hit, I don't want to read all that shit, but America is harming itself as much as, if not more, as much as, if not more than other economies with its latest tariffs analysis. All right, just say America hurting their damn self more than others. Shit. A recession is a recession in America. If Trump keeps his place, if Trump keeps in place the tariffs announced Wednesday, recession is a likely outcome for both the U.S. and the world this year. What did Apostle Tahar coined this year? All right, the hopeful year of Esau's judgment and salvation of the elect. J.P. Morgan said in a note Thursday, that's from J.P. Morgan, saying we could see a recession this year. The tariffs will cause prices in America to surge, too, adding close to 2% to the consumer price index in 2025, according to the bank, right? I got this drink right here. It's like Canadian, clear Canadian, sparkling water. And it comes from Canada, clearly. And it used to be like $1. Now that shit like 2.69. Haven't been buying too many of these. I keep the bottle, fill it with water. So that's what's going on, man. Recession is at the door. So I want to read a scripture real quick. Let's read the scripture. Let me just like two scriptures, maybe two. All right, let's get two precepts. Let's go to Second Ezra 16, 17. All right, so this is Second Ezra 16 and 17. Let's go to it. It says, "Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days?" See, this is Prophet Ezra's prophesying about these times that we're in today. All right, the beginning of sorrows. See, the beginning of it, the sorrows to come, and great mournings. Lose, loss of jobs, loss of items, loss of resources, loss of life, loss of loved ones, loss of friends, comfort, safety. The scriptures say that when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. So are we in the famine yet? No, but we're in the beginning of it. And that's what we're seeing. That's why people getting scared and shit. In the futures market, they're pulling out and all that. It's gonna cause a famine. Famine means lack of food, lack of resources. The beginning of wars. Oh, so lack of resources brings what? More confusion, resentment, and wars. All right. And the powers shall stand in fear. Then we just read that, right? That was the spirit, man. I didn't know that was here, but then we just read that in Ecclesiastes that the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the powers shall stand in fear. They're gonna stand in it. They ain't gonna just tremble. They're gonna their present situation, current situation is gonna be you're gonna have to lay in the bed that you made, you know. So they're gonna stand in fear. And the beginning of evils, all right, war, and what comes with war is destruction. And what shall I do when these evils shall come? Well, us, we're gonna turn to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and trust in His protection. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So why do all these things exist? Is because it's a scourge for correction to get people to wake the hell up. It's the birth pains before the actual birth gets here, the destruction. So it's the contraction of the economy of this current situation here in Babylon. So it's the contraction, it's the warning before the storm. You know, so yeah, these are scourges for correction, amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn away from their wickedness. See, Jake gonna continue on that damn path, and if anything, they're gonna get worse. The wicked shall wax worse and worse. You know, you may hear it real soon, man. You gonna be like, damn, bro, you like a super Christian now. God damn, bro, I didn't know you was Muslim. Damn, what the, you know, so everybody choosing their sides, and then the ones that stuck, the ones that stuck in the damn rift, trying to straddle the fence, the Lord gonna spew them out because they neither cold nor hot, and they're gonna be right there crying at your doorstep. And that's when the time of the 10 virgins. Five are wise, and the other half is gonna be foolish. Didn't prepare themselves. All right. So nor were they always mindful of the scourges. See, they have no idea that's the Most High sending these judgments at this current time. All right. Even in the past, but I'm talking about currently. These as all hell is breaking, as they say, all hell is breaking loose around the world. That's the Lord sending scourges before the actual wrath. You know, you give your child a warning, you pop them. But I'm gonna go get the belt in a second. And my parents, they had a damn extension cord, and they didn't use the thin end either. They used the block at the end of that motherfucker. So, behold, victuals, all right, victuals, food, and you can also tie that to raiment. But food, resources shall be so good cheap on earth. See, Jake, just because they can still go to the store and buy something, they think what that they shall think themselves to be in good case. It's just what you thinking. But in reality, you know, that's why I say people don't want to talk politics, they don't want to talk news or religion. So you go up to them and start talking about it. I don't want I ain't really into it. I was talking to somebody the other day. And I was like, hey, you know you're Israelite? He's like, I'm not really into all that. I was like, damn, we just shut down the conversation. We can But you talk about some damn dumb shit, they'll be intrigued by the conversation. But if you mention the real stuff, reality, truth, life, mature conversations, they're rejected or they resent you. But that's why the Lord said, "Woe unto them that call good evil and evil good." All right, it's just gonna be that, just destruction to them. There's nothing, no more to say. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Yeah, America then robbed, stole, and killed everybody that they got their resources from around the world. Forced these people into imports, certain level of imports, you know, and goods. Try to set the dollar up as a dominant figure on the earth. So people, yeah, you in the belly of the beast. Of course, you getting fed. The beast going around eating everything. So you in the belly, you in the eating too. But what happened when the food stops for the beast? What happened when the beast has no more power to roam and take from the world? What happened when the Most High stops feeding it? The people that are in the belly of the beast don't get fed either. They feel what the beast feels. That's why the Lord said, "Come out of her, my people, man, and get your mind out of this place. Stop thinking yourself to be in good case. Understand that we're in the belly of a beast, man, and we have to come out just like Jonah. All right. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth. Sword. Sword is growing. We seeing it. War. Shit. The evils, man. You got people got switches now and shit. They got all kind of fucking advancements and weapons. So you can go there too with that. Sword, famine, and great confusion, man. More confusion. That's why I said it's gonna grow upon the earth because Trump tariffs are also affecting the whole world. All right. Great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of the famine. Why? Because this is a judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So most of the people you sitting and standing next to, they won't be here when the famine comes. I look back at in Philadelphia. I look at um, them old school videos from it seems so long ago, but damn, 1990s, 1980s, and you'll see videos of it on YouTube, and they'll show people, and I'm like, damn, there was a lot of people alive back then, walking around that I knew personally, and they not here no more. Just gone. Hundreds of people, maybe thousands. All right. So, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So we in the time of that famine creeping up, and then what's going to come behind this? Great hunger, and then what? The sword that goes into the war, that goes into the flood, martial law, etc., etc. Psalms 91. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. Right? They're not going to fix this situation, man. They might put a band aid on it. Uh, the situation with America and Iran, that they're hoping the one trick pony, Esau, Trump, is going to scare Iran into nuclear talks. But instead, this could be that one, man. This could be that second Ezra 15, where that war kicks off in the Middle East and turns nuclear, fuel of fire, and then that fire reaches out all the way to the soils of America. All right, so the, the those that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. That's why it says that in the scriptures. And that day is going to be like, um, let's get that real quick. Get this real quick. All right, this is Amos 5:19. No, 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. See, a lot of people, I can't wait for Jebus to come back. You're gonna bring flowers and lilies and save us from ourselves for being so damn silly. That's what they think. But oh no, no. When they see the Lord, it's gonna be like when them people was asking Moses, like, "Yo, tell the Lord to come see us. We want to see him ourselves." But when they see him, they're like, "No, no, tell him to go away. Tell him to go away." ah. So woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh, right? Because you ain't ready to see him. To what end is it for you, man? If you understand the paths, the Lord said, I lay before you an open door, life and death. So people that chose that path of death, what end is it written for them that we read about? Sodom and Gomorrah was left as an example unto those that shall live ungodly. The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. It's gonna be nothing but wrath and judgment. All right. Ain't gonna be a hippie party and shit. And Caesar Borgia come out. Hell no. As if a man did flee from a lion. See, so it's they're gonna go from one bad situation into the next. All right. Where was that? Yeah, I'm gonna go back to that in a second. So they're gonna be in a bad situation. They're gonna go from the damn. They're gonna jump out the hot pot, the boiling pot, right? As a frog, what they call the frog in the pot mindset with the Illuminati. You know, boil it slow, and the frog won't notice it. But when that damn frog notice it, they're gonna jump, try to run. They're gonna jump right out the hot pot into the damn frying pan. All right, Jake, 2/3 in these heathens. As if a man did flee from a lion, see, and a bear met him. So you running from one thing, you're gonna run into another thing. And went into a house somewhere for safety and leaned his hand on the wall, so something you could trust, and a serpent bit him. So you're gonna get deceived, man. Remember that with You try to remember what was that, man? Book of Eli, the Book of Eli with Denzel Washington and that girl when they was traveling, and then they saw a house, and then they met two old people that was in there drinking dark pitch black coffee and shit like blood or whatever. And then they told him to go hide in the basement, and they was about to shoot him with the shotgun. It's like, yo, yeah, it's gonna be like that here in America. And leaned his hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him. Right? Shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Whew. Right. So now let's go back. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of the famine." This is Second Ezra 16:22. So if they make it out of the famine, they're gonna go from the hot pot, right? The other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. They're gonna jump into the damn frying pan. The Lord gonna fry their ass. All right. And the dead shall be cast out as dung. It's gonna be a harvesting of souls. All those spirits gonna be going up to the Father. Think about it. All right. That's why it says that's why it said in Ecclesiastes 12, which goes hand in hand with this. Um uh, the mourners shall go about in the streets because the people are going to their long home, meaning they're dying. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, right? And there shall be no man to comfort them, right? So to comfort them, meaning um, going out, cleaning up the bodies, coroners, hospitals, police, family members. You got to go through it yourself. For the earth shall be wasted, and I experienced that in Philadelphia one time, man. Friend of mine, mom, I think it was aunt, she died. She was obese, and he called me over there. I sat in there with him, and she was dead on the floor, and the coroners would not come and get her. Right? They wouldn't come get her, so that body just sat there. You know, for the earth shall be wasted, well, for like a whole day, and then they came and got her. But imagine if nobody was coming. You had to do everything yourself. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. That's what's coming. All right. So, and there shall be left no man to till the earth, nor to sow it. So there ain't gonna be nobody to the economy. Shit, you ain't gonna have no employees or no damn employers or employees because it's gonna be destroyed. Energy saver on power and battery. I'm almost done. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. All right, let's get one more. Matter of fact, let me get my charger. All right, where were we? What was I about to read? Let's read one more, man. I'm gonna shut this joint down. Let's go to Second Thessalonians. No, all right, Second Thessalonians. Oh shit, First Thessalonians 5:1. All right, here you go, man. So this is to you who are watching. All right, but of First Thessalonians 5:1. All right, those that are watching and those that will watch once this is posted. Um, But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. All right. So we know about what's coming because the Lord blessed us to know revelations, the seals. For yourselves know perfectly. So you don't let people deceive you, man. Like you don't know what you're talking about. You know, majority rules type shit. Your family, they become people in your mind, but they start to accumulate like a bunch of them together, ganging up against you. So for yourselves, know perfectly, man. You're not stupid. You're not tripping. All right. You know, you understand reality, and people are living in lies. But for yourself, know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night, man. It's gonna catch these people off guard. For when they shall say peace and safety, all right, not only in war, but also in this place, America, their comfort zone, economic crash. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape it. It's a trap, and the Lord gonna trap them. It's gonna be unexpected. It's gonna be just like birth pains. That's what we're seeing now, the contractions. And then you be like, "Oh, babe, you had contractions? Oh, cool, cool." And then next thing you know, in the middle of the night, oh, yeah, screaming. You're like, "Oh shit, what happened? My water broke." That's what the Lord said. It's gonna be like a breach ready to fall, and that water gonna break through. All right. And they shall not escape, man. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. All right. So, and us, we're waiting on the Lord to bring His judgment. All right. So I'm gonna wrap this up, man. That was a little edification on these Trump tariffs and what's going on around the world. It's basically Trump cutting off his own limb, cutting off his own foot, standing on the edge of the damn tree branch and cutting it, expecting the tree to fall. So get ready, man. You know, they tighten up your bootstraps, get your house in order. All right. So with that, I'm gonna end it and say Shalom. Ka halayim le'ahau bashim el shai, ba'ashem ha'rakah kodash ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. And shalom to you, Akim and Akwatim and children that still believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right. I guess all the brothers in camp busy. 14 brothers in this camp, one viewer. It's all good. Hey, check it out later. Hey, shalom.